What up, Nate?
Yo, what up?
Hey, man, I'm happy you're here. What's going on, buddy?
Not much, just hanging out.
Hey, I gotta get right to something. So you got this rematch with Conor coming up. By the way, congrats on that, and congrats of all the success in the media tour and all the attention, man. It's well deserved and well overdue. But you've got this rematch with Conor. Is this same? And what I mean by that, it's a main event, UFC 200. But are you guys at 170 pounds, or has he said, "Listen, that didn't work the first time. Give me Nate, but give me a different weight class"?
I don't know if that fight's official yet, but if it is, they're asking for me to go up a weight class. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make that weight class.
They're asking you to go so 170, or they're asking you to go down?
170.
Okay, 170. So if I understand, they haven't made the fight. I get it. The fight's not official. We can't put that out. But if they do it, they want to still do it at 170. There was no lesson learned the first time. I mean, I have always admired Conor's guts, because taking on you in the first place was a tall challenge. Taking on you a second time after what happened the first time, particularly when you factor in that you were there on 10 days. No, that wasn't the best Nate Diaz that we've ever seen, and he still won. So, I mean, isn't that a pretty courageous move? I think we got to at least give him that, no?
Why do you think it's like if you lose to somebody and then you're going to go change the rules and the circumstances, and it's like, well, I'll beat you if we do this way, like change the ways the fight circumstances were, then it's kind of weak, you know. So I think he's like, if I'm gonna win under the same circumstances, and I think that's the way to do it. If you're you know, trying to say, look, I'll beat this guy, and like if I fought somebody and lost, I wouldn't want to fight somebody and be like, well, lose 10 pounds and I'll beat you, because that's lame.
Well, see, and I fully agree with you.
So I understand why he wants to fight at 170, but I'm a lightweight, so now they're asking me to go up a weight class to 170 again, and so it's whatever. I don't know. I don't care. Whatever they want to do.
Well, I do fully agree with you to your point that, yeah, if he did that, but historically, that is what guys do. They go, hey, listen, this didn't work out and this didn't work out, so change this set of circumstances. I mean, we've seen stuff in Japan, even with the greats like the Gracie family, where they go and they change the rules of the event. Henzo was one of the few guys that just fought over whatever the rules were, they were, but historically, guys do try to manipulate the event. I think it's rather impressive that he just said okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's getting enough of that impressive push from everybody. So I don't think too much of it.
I hear you. Now he has been, and again, to your point, the fight is not announced, but he has been relatively quiet this time around.
Yeah, well, there's not much to say. So,
well, it makes it a little hard at this point, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So let's say the rematch does happen. How did that come about? I mean, you were in talks immediately following. Dana White himself was saying, "Look, nothing's official, but I think Nate's the number one contender now. I think he gets in there with Robbie Lawler." And a lot of people, Robbie included, was thinking, "Well, that's what's going to happen. It's going to be Diaz versus Lawler."
Yeah, I don't know. They slept on it, and they were like, we don't need this guy in this position, so we need to get him out of here. We need Conor to do it because they need him to get his momentum, his power back. So they need to try to get him out of there as quickly as possible. That's what I think.
So in Conor's spot, what do you suppose should happen if this fight materializes? You're talking about the 170-pound class again. What do you think should happen at 145? Because if he doesn't defend that title, that does put guys like Frankie Edgar, who clearly have earned the right to fight for the belt, that puts him in a pretty tough spot when there's no belt being defended.
Yeah, they put him in a shitty position, and I don't know. If I was dipping out on the weight class, I would just leave the belt behind. But that's me. I don't care what he does or whatever he wants to do. That's whatever. But Yeah, fuck, poor guys. They want to fight for their belt and do their thing because that's the goal in their missions. They should let them fight for a belt. And,
yeah, I agree. I think
they're in this position. I would leave that belt behind.
I think they're going to have to make some decisions there. So have you enjoyed this media push? You know, you haven't always been Mr. Media, but I did catch you say one time, you go, well, you know, I kind of wanted to be. I never had these chances to do mainstream media. I think you're on FS1 and you told those guys that. And I thought, well, that's pretty cool because I love when you do media, but it seems like sometimes you're out of your element. You're more comfortable not saying much. Have you enjoyed the attention and the push, or has it been a nuisance?
I enjoy being pushed in a more of a positive way, like a lot of people have been doing that, and because a lot of press and stuff has been real negative, and they want to make me the bad guy, and I am the bad guy. I look like the bad guy, but it's usually during the week when it's hard to be a good guy, you know.
Yeah.
We or the build up to the fight, the lead up to the fight, and you're under some intense pressures and fucked up circumstances. So then it's real negative looking as far as maybe not even the people, but when I look at it, it ain't looking so hot. But I got other stuff on my mind that trying to look good for people, you know. I try to keep it honest and be as real. I don't even got to try. It just comes out as real as it is, and people got their opinions, but it's hard to act a certain way when you gotta be locked into a cage to fight people in front of the world.
See, I fully agree. And, you know, if we're to be real open and honest, even though on the outside, you know, on fight week, we act confident and tough, but the truth is, you know, you're constantly second guess. Do I have enough to beat this guy? Have I done the right things? Has it been enough time? What were you going through on fight week? Because you seem calm and cool. As I'm talking to your boy Gilbert's like, man, this one's a lock. Get down to the window. Nate Diaz is going to beat this guy. He's going to stop him. I can't even believe that there's a talk about it. And I said, okay, Gil, but how does Nate feel? And he goes, Nate's fine. Nate doesn't even care. I'm like, are you sure? It's a main event. It's the biggest fight in history. He's had 10 days. Are you sure he feels that way? He's like, I guarantee you Nate Diaz stops this guy. Did you feel that way, or did all the things you started to hear start to get in your head as well?
It's cool because that's his confidence in me because we train together and we've been together over the years. And I think that I felt the same way. I feel the same way. Everybody who knows me probably feels the same way. And a lot of people who watch the fight and know they'll probably feel the same way. But like I said, I like to be as real as I can. And the reality of it is like I feel like I could beat anybody in the UFC, from like lightweight to heavyweight, you know. And the thing is, if you don't come with your game on and you're not doing what you're supposed to do, I feel like you can lose with anybody. You know what I'm saying? So I don't go in there confident and tough and fucking. I mean, I'm always confident, but I'm not going in there with this tough attitude and playing a role like I'm gonna take this guy out. I keep it real myself, and I sit there and I'm thinking over all the ways that I'm probably could get fucked up, knocked out, finished, and that's all going through my head fight week. So I'm not putting on a big front, but I know in the background what I could do if it all goes right. And I felt like I could beat that guy, and that's why I called him out in the first place, because he went up the weight classes, and I said I want to fight this guy, and if I didn't fucking believe that I could beat him, I wouldn't be talking out of turn like that, you know. So I was like, let's fight, and it went down the way I expected it to go down.
Now, Conor definitely got fatigued in that match. He was very open about it. To quote him, he said, I wasn't efficient with my energy, but all that means is, hey, I got tired. He had a full training camp and still got fatigued. You had 10 days. Is there a scenario that you can picture where he can somehow have energy for 25 minutes should he need him? This is going to be a 25-round contest should it happen again. Is there a scenario where it gets better for him?
I didn't understand the question. One more time, please.
What I'm saying is Conor was in great shape. He knew about the fight. You only had 10 days. In theory, you should have been the one out of shape, but but he gassed out. He got tired and gassed out. He said that he thinks he could beat you if he was more efficient with his energy. Is there a scenario where he could get in better shape and go 25 minutes should he need it? Because where I'm looking at this, I'm going, look, Conor's got a big problem, and that is the night to beat Nate was the night that you did not beat Nate. The night to beat you was fighting you on 10 days' notice, giving you a 3-month training camp when energy was the issue in the first place. It just looks like I can't logically make sense of how he closes that gap.
Yeah, he's a martial. He's supposed to be a martial artist, but just the cardio factor itself is a martial art itself, you know. And that energy, more efficient with energy shit talk is just like, it's like he fucked up. And you got to be, just like you got to be good at boxing and kickboxing and grappling and jiu-jitsu and wrestling and all this stuff. You have to be a black belt in cardio and how to use it. And if he's not up to par with what I got to bring to the table, then things are probably gonna go down the same way, you know. And I think you know, everybody believes this hype and this talk, but it's been a long time for me, you know. I did a lot of learning over the years. I got a lot of experience, and if he doesn't step his game up and push himself like 7 years ahead where he's supposed to, 10 years ahead where he's supposed to be, I think he's gonna fall off again. Again, like I was saying earlier, though, if I fuck up, I could lose with anybody, not with him, with anybody. So if that makes sense, you know, that he needs to be stepping it up pretty hardcore, pretty big time.
So, from a physical standpoint, he did have some good success in that contest, particularly with his left hand. His left hand kept finding its target over and over. And Andre Ward, one of your training partners, maybe the best boxer alive right now, he said, you know, that really surprised me. Nate doesn't get hit with that punch in practice. I was surprised, and I think it was just, you know, the fact that you did only have 10 days. Is that how you see it? If you sharpen up, was that left hand so fast you couldn't see it coming, or was that an issue of just being a little rusty, if you will?
Yeah, no, it was both. I saw it. I saw it coming. I saw every punch he threw. You know, it was just, you know, he was fast. And what happens is like if I'm at a camp, like let's say right now, for instance, I haven't sparred since I fought. You know, what was that, 3 weeks ago? I haven't sparred. I feel like I could go in and spar anybody in a boxing gym right now and do 10 rounds. But I'm probably going to get hit a lot because I'm not on point. You know what I'm saying? So that's something I accept, and I definitely try to not let it happen. But so that's how it was with this fight. I was like, all right, lack of sparring, lack of training, going to come in 100 miles an hour. All right, if you get hit, keep your composure and block that shit. Dodge that shit, and normally with a camp or with sparring, not even a camp, just with sparring, like give me a week of sparring, I'm usually a whole different human being the next week, untouchable, you know. But without the sparring, you know, you're flat, you're not on point, and that's why I said you got to do things the smart way and warm up and get in there. And if I try to take off at 100 from the beginning, then I'm just going to get flatter and slower, so you can't take off like that.
Now, when the match was going, did he say anything to you?
Can I answer your question right now? I just kind of rambled.
No, you know, I understood it. You went a longer way to get there, but no, I got it. And that's kind of how I see it, too. I thought, well, I'm excited for the rematch. I want to see this. This is a great call. I never saw it coming. There was talk of you and Lawler. There was talk of him going down to 45 and fighting Edgar. He was even saying that, hey, I'm going to go back to 45. This weight move was bad. I didn't see the rematch coming, but I loved it. As soon as I heard about it, I thought, oh, that's brilliant. But
I don't know. I just hope that they're getting, like, you know, they stop. You know, like it's great that he went up a weight and took the fight on short notice, but they plotted on me. They plotted me out. You know, they knew they were going to fight me before I had any clue. I mean, I'm always aware that I'm probably going to fight that guy, but they plotted me out, and they knew that I was probably on vacation out there chilling, and that they had their options, and they didn't want to take no fights. For one, they know I'm the biggest fight, and for two, they knew that some of those other guys they offered. I'm sure they strategized. You know what I'm saying? That the other guys, like I think some of the other guys were training for fights, and then Frankie Edgar out of season. I'm sure they might have wanted him on some not ready shit, but they knew that I would probably be the best option to take on short notice because I just fought and I was probably not doing shit. I thought this over. I thought over every scenario, and so he's getting all this damn credit for coming in and going up 2 weight classes. But let's not forget that I was not doing shit, and they came in, and not only him but the UFC they plotted on me together and tried to take me out, and it all blew up in their faces. So here we are today, and that's why there's a rematch. Nobody gets a rematch, and all of a sudden this guy's getting a rematch, and they're like, we need this to happen, everybody wants this to happen, and I'm like, or do you guys want this to happen? Because you guys need a redo, and it's like in times of war, like you wouldn't even be here for this to be taking place because reality of it is fuck you got taken out. So it's I think the whole rematch thing is cool because they want to do it and it's worth the money and everybody wants to see a big money fight, but I'm just thinking it's fucked up because I've lost a lot of funny decisions in my career that I thought I won or was going to win, and I know I could beat anybody I lost to, and I never got a rematch. So this guy's like, he's getting babied.
That's an interesting perspective on it. I hadn't thought of it like that. I just looked at it from a fan perspective, which is, wow, great fight. Didn't see the swerve coming. Love it, and it's going to sell.
Mm-hmm.
But that's an interesting perspective. Then here's the other question. It's a checkers player's move because it's one step ahead. In a game of chess here, where do you go from here? Do you stay at 170 and maybe get that fight with whoever's the champion at that time, or do you go back to 55? Are you now officially a 70-pounder?
I'm a lightweight, and I've had like I said, I had some bullshit decisions before, and I had and I get fed up with the way shit works out sometimes. So I'm like, well, I'm just gonna go up a weight because I don't want to go on a diet and do a training camp during the summer and make lightweight because for some of my circumstances, I wasn't making the good enough money. So it's a big difference. Like if someone's going to pay you chump change, it's going to make things a lot easier. Like you don't want to put in that weight cut and work. You're like, fuck this. So that's why I ever even talked about going to 170. But I'm a lightweight, and more so, I wanted to fight at 170 when my brother was suspended and on suspension. But when my brother's back in the game, that's his division, so I'm staying out of it,
Yeah, sure.
So now his suspension's off. He's coming back, so I need to stay in my weight class unless there's good opportunities coming from other weight classes for me. Because as far as I'm concerned, the whole lightweight division is a bigger names in the bracket than anybody out welterweight. Except for GSP and Nick and Robbie Lawler, but like I said before, those are my brother's fights, and I understand that it doesn't make you happy when someone hops up and takes fights that you wanted or takes fights that were supposed to be your fights, So we didn't talk about that, but I'm just like when they started offering me GSP and Robbie Lawler, I was like, yeah, that would be fucking. I would love those big name fights and these big, and I think I could, like I said, I think I could beat both of them, But those are not my fights to be. Out of respect for my brother and just those are his fights. So I'll be in the lightweight division. And he's gonna be in the welterweight division. And if anybody wants to fight at 85, me or him could probably do that if it's worth the while, if it's a big enough name.
So Nate, did you actually get a phone call and they said, hey, what do you think about a potential GSP match?
No, that was more hearsay. I don't think anybody called me about that.
Okay.
I saw his team tweeting and putting on social media about that.
Okay, and they did. They were very respectful, though. Those guys are fighters, and they're in there for the biggest fights. And
me and my brother the biggest fight, and I think they saw that was a big fight for me, and they want to steal my power, baby. Everybody wants to steal your power. It's got the power, so it's like
it's a cutthroat business.
And this Conor McGregor thing is like I'm not gonna hesitate like some old bitch like I've been doing for years. I've been trying to fucking get fights, rematches with people, and they like never even want to talk about me again. They're like, that's done. That's in the past. I don't even want to fight that or deal with that scary shit ever again. And now he's trying to get his rematch, and I'm like, hey, for one, money talks. For two, I'm not gonna run and hide and I play this funny game where he's gonna have to want this fight forever. Let's just get it done, knock it out, and then move on.
Yeah, definitely. So you must have heard the rumor though that they suspected that Conor would win your guys' first contest and then call out GSP, who conspicuously was in the front row of the first UFC he's ever returned to since his retirement. What'd you think of that? Did you hear about that before your fight? Knowing that
I put a big old halt on that shit. I'm like, what do you guys think, that I'm some fucking game to be played with? Like, I've been in this game for too long to fuck with. And I didn't even think about it like that or see what was happening. But then when I left the next day and I saw what was going on, I knew what was going on. Yeah, they had GSP there. We're gonna have this big old GSP McGregor show bullshit. I don't want to even hear about that. GSP gonna come out of fucking retirement to fight this little ass Conor McGregor? What the fuck? That's like, this is all just a freak show now. And then so now what did I do? I pissed off Conor McGregor. I pissed off GSP, and most of all, I pissed off the UFC. But LOL, motherfuckers, that's so good.
Yes, indeed. You did throw a wrench into it. Now, you really can't blame the UFC. They've got to be moving ahead, right? They got venues books. They got date book. They're not like fighters where a fighter can look at one thing. They've got to look at 10 things at a time. So,
they got to look 10 steps ahead.
That's
sure.
right. So they did the right thing. That was a good move on their part. But it does make me wonder who all was in on this, because I talked to George, but I can tell you what George said, but that doesn't mean George is telling me the truth, right? If he's part of a conspiracy, he's not going to tell me anything.
George is full of shit. They're all full of shit.
George did try to act surprised, like, what? He's going to call me out? Oh, man. It's like, George,
that's not what I was there for. I'm like, hey, and I want to be the first one to speak up. You're a fucking bully. You're going to hold that little ass Irish man down. He's going to hop in and take this money fight like, I'm coming back for this. Like, what the fuck? Get your ass up to your weight class. And Conor McGregor's out of line, too, trying to fight big-ass people.
Well, and with George's skill set, and to your point, yeah, he is a master of taking people down, and he's damn good at jiu-jitsu. It's greatly underrated.
Saying, like before anybody goes and praises this fight, like if Gregor would have won, and if they would have put that GSP, everybody would be like, this is going to be the greatest fight of all time. But that is not going to be the greatest fight of all time. It's ridiculous. It's a freak show.
Yeah, it definitely could have been. It definitely could have been.
Sell tickets, because definitely that's going to sell tickets. But like, George, you're not some superhuman badass for coming in and fighting rookie-ass 20-fight Conor McGregor. You got all these fights in your seat, you know what I'm saying? This comeback was going to be some competitive fight type of thing. It was all going to be all about... It was just a good business move on everybody's part.
So... that was beautiful.
I'm here to bust people out.
Yes, indeed. So in your opinion, we're just two guys speculating, but you think that George was tipped off. I mean, there's a reason he got on a plane from Toronto, put on the fancy suit, and sat in the front row, correct?
Yeah, he thought he was going to come back and make this big old congratulations, George St. Pierre's coming back show. But get the fuck out of here, motherfucker.
Oh, that is funny.
I'm just thinking about, like, you thought this wasn't going to come in and beat me. I spoiled your show. That's what you get, motherfucker, for fucking coming and trying to steal the show and trying to make this about you. That's fucking spoiled everybody's day. So
let's look at your situation and apply it to the women's division, and I mean it in this regard. So they were going to put Conor down to fight for the belt, going to put you in a title fight to fight Robbie for the belt, and all of a sudden they go, well, screw the belt. Let's just give people the fight they want. Isn't that the same thing that they could do with Ronda and Holly? Ronda's coming off a loss. Holly's coming off a loss. That's the fight people want to see. Can't they just say, to hell with the belt? Misha, you're out of the equation for now. we're going to do Conor and Nate, and we're going to do Ronda and Holly. Couldn't they just apply that same concept to that division?
Yeah, it'd probably be a bigger, better show, and that's what I think fighting is all about. It's about putting on the best fights and seeing good people fight. But like, I don't think that, like I said before, that belt shit's a fairy tale. It's like it's a position of power. Everyone wants to hold the belt to get paid better money, but there's people getting paid better money that are holding than the guys that are holding the belts. So I think they just need to drop this fairy tale shit and just put on the fights people want to see, and that's what they're doing with us, you know. They're putting on a fight that people want to see, and that belt shit's a power trip fucking maneuver, you know.
I hear you. All right, I have one last question. This is a personal question from me. I am recording this, but this is just for my own knowledge. When you went on you went on UFC Tonight the day after Ariel was fired, and you asked the guys, "Hey, where's Ariel?" Did you know he had been fired, or were you genuinely wondering where's Ariel?
Hey, check it out. Those fuckers are fucking trying to team up on me, all three of them, and play this little show. I really thought DC and Ariel were going to be there. I found out the morning of that Ariel got fired, and DC was on in training camp, and they had, what's the name of his number 2 guy. And then I go in there, and they're like a little funny-ass team in that UFC Tonight, and I ain't going back to that shit unless the real motherfuckers are in there, because because they try to pull their little tricks and moves. I'm like, that's cheating, because if I had a UFC Tonight to put my own fights on there, then I'd be the most popular motherfucker in the game, because I'd be stirring up shit with everybody.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, anybody I wanted to fight with. And they brought me on there and tried to, like, team up, and, like, people couldn't see that, but that's what was happening if you really watch. They're sitting there making fucking winks at each other and shit about how they're going to stir up a fight with me or my brother or whatever. So I'm like, how about, where's the fuck's Ariel at? Your guy's boy. And then where's DC at? Like, number 2. So, yeah, that was an accident. I didn't mean to do that.
It was absolutely hilarious. And if I was, Bisping or Kenny, I would have answered your question. I would have just said he was fired yesterday. I don't know why they tiptoed around. I think because you caught him off guard.
I'm like, speak the fuck up. What happened, you fucking pussies?
Right. I think it would have been a good opportunity. Tell the story, you know. I mean, Ariel matters. Ariel's got a place, and he works his ass off, and he is good at his job. If we're being fair at all, Ariel Helwani is damn good at his job.
I'm going to tell you what, that show's getting boring. I used to watch it every week when you were on it, and then when Ariel does a good job too. You know, he'll piss a lot of people off. He pisses me off sometimes, but he has the good info and he says the good things. So it's like you guys are making the show full of people that are not going to answer your question when you ask them a question. So it's not for real TV. It gets boring. I'm not here to knock UFC Tonight, but it turned into that in this conversation, you know. But yeah, they ganged up on me a little bit. I ain't mad at none of them, but it's just like. Touche, motherfuckers.
You're on fire. Hey, buddy, I really appreciate you calling in, man. This was fun. Thank you, pal.
Hey, one more thing. Did you see that interview? Did you see that one interview with those 2 guys?
Yes.
Jay?
Yep.
And I was like, I thought this was Chad. I really thought it was you. When I was doing the interview with them and Conor.
Right. When you had the earpiece in.
With the voice, and he was asking me a question. I was like, is this fucking Chael Sonnen? Fucking. I was like, what the hell? And then when I saw the interview, I was like, oh, I thought it was Chael Sonnen, but I was like, it couldn't be. So that's what I was saying. I was like, is this Chael? I was really confused. That's why I was saying that. I was like, is this Chael Sonnen fucking with me?
Oh, that was so funny. I did hear you say that, but I never knew what they were asking because it was in your earpiece. I was like, I wonder what that guy was saying. I wonder what he was saying, and they thought it was me.
That's why I was appalled. I was like, why would Chael Sonnen be asking me these questions? Because it was stupid, for one. And I was like, Chael wouldn't be asking me this. Why is he doing this? And then I saw him, I was like, it was you, motherfucker.
Oh, that's so funny. You thought I was a traitor for a second. No way, man.
Right on. Yeah, no, it's all good.
All right, cool. Hey, enjoy your day. Thanks, Nate.
All right, peace out.
All right, cool. See you, buddy.